When I pause and look up at the sky, I think a lot about my spirituality. I found that in my 40s, my journey has been a lot about spiritual growth and making meaning of my place in the universe. So in my creative process, I really quickly realized that trying to create a visual dialogue about inspiring music was going to be overwhelming. I felt like there were going to be a lot of things that were happening, and it was going to be a confusing canvas. So I grounded the work in flamingos because they're fun, ridiculous animals. They're silly and crazy, and I think that they really embody the human experience. There's so much nonsense in our world as humans, and I feel like that animal physically encapsulates the awkwardness of humanity.
I deal with multiple themes in my work, and a lot of times that's anachronisms and the concept of transparency and translucency with opacity, and kind of the information that I give and then hide, the obfuscation of certain elements is really important to me in my work. When you're dealing with icons, you have an idea that is deemed precious and that is possibly replicated over and over again. When I was dealing with the thought of Christianity, which is in different religions in the world, if your religion exists in your everyday life, then how come the iconography for that religion does not represent the everyday aspects of your life? I started kind of playing with the idea of taking religious iconography and creating it with mundane objects representing the deified object or person. And I've kind of gone from there, the idea of taking something sacred and turning today's sacred and hypostulating kind of what would be important to today's viewer. So the Madonnas of the Mundane led into taking chickens and kind of making them into icons that were large faced chickens with gold leaf, and trying to turn those into more of a precious object.
My creative journey started when I was a little girl. My grandfather was a gunsmith, and he liked to draw with me. He would take coffee in the mornings at 10 o'clock, and we would sit and doodle at the kitchen table. I have a vivid imagination. Everything for me starts off as line art, and there's lines in everything connecting. So, you're looking at trees, but then you're looking at the leaves or the nuts that are growing on the tree, and then the way the clouds intersected. I always wanted to do a Hamsa design. I don't know why. I just that was a cool piece. It was spiritual, and I'm into I do Tai Chi and I do yoga, and I like meditation, and so that just kind of went in with my life. And I didn't really have a design for it, but once I drew the shape of the hand out on my canvas, it just called for a bug. So, and I think Luna moths are really cool, and as I researched them, I found out all about the Luna moth and what they like to feed on, and what the caterpillar eats, and then what the moth eats, and so all of that came into the design.
I have a really deep spiritual belief that where we're going and the things that happen to us aren't accidents. They're really meant to guide us to what we're supposed to learn, the lessons that we need to learn as people.
During the time of the pandemic, it's been really reflective for me to kind of sit and work on these expressive portraits that are showing kind of a side to something that wasn't ever thought about, I guess.
As an artist, everything you see goes in. You're like a sponge. So even when you don't want to be inspired by something, it still goes in there and stays.
I think my inspiration as an artist comes from joys of living, experiences of life, moments of growth, pain points, but also the really fun, exuberant moments.